Hi Taurus, my name is Audrey Allison. Thank you for joining me for your April 2016 forecast for the month. It's a beautiful Southern California day. There is a lot of noise in the neighborhood. I've dealt with it horribly throughout the Sagittarius video and I believe a Virgo video, but let's see what we could do. I really love reading outside and connecting with nature, and being indoors I just feel stifled. So I hope you can bear with any external noise. I want to thank you for subscribing and sharing these posts. I'm using the alchemical deck, my steadfast deck. You can see it's so old it's worn out. It's by Robert M. Place. It's a limited edition deck. It's out of print. And I say that because a lot of people ask me what I'm using and where I can get it, so I'm just relaying that through the videos. So let's get into it, because the first transit is all about you as well. On the 5th of April, we have two personal planet transits. We have Venus entering Aries in your 12th house of quiet rest, and then we have Mercury entering Taurus in the first house of self. So this is a very expressive month, but you will have Mercury retrograding in your sign. So we'll get to that because that's at the very last couple of days. So the first transit, Venus, the planet of love and money, your ruling planet. And I say money because of you, Taurus. You are the financial security blanket of the zodiac. You have a sense of security that's needed, and that's where we get Venus's money skills from. She also governs Libra, so that's where we get the love, the Aphrodite from. But when she enters your 12th house of rest, which I love Venus here, she'll help the dream life. This trines the fire sign energy that we have in Sagittarius. We have Mars there, and we have a retrograde Saturn there in Sag. And this is all existing in your 8th house, the Mars and Saturn energy in Sagittarius. So the 12th, 8th, and 4th houses are the most quiet on the astrological wheel. So there is a quiet inner work that's happening here, subconscious mind work with Venus in the 12th. Great time for a rest or a vacay if you can, before Mercury goes retrograde. Now, Mercury entering the first house on the 5th of April is huge for writers, public speaking, students, anyone taking a certification course, anyone who's trying to get information across in relationship as well. This Earth sign transit ignites Pluto in Capricorn. So this trines 120 degrees away from each other in your 9th house of foreign travel, education. Education is important to you. And some of you are getting certified or speaking or recording out of your country or in foreign locations. Or it's just certification, 9th house of study, 9th house of your belief system, and how you're expressing yourself is all intertwined here when Mercury is in your first house of self. On the 7th of April, we have our new moon at 18 degrees of Aries, conjunct Venus, conjunct Uranus, and the sun and the moon are in Aries. And this is all in the house of rest and the house of release, the house of endings, the house of addictions. You don't want to pick up new addictions in the new moon. That's not what it's about. It's time to let them go. But a new moon in the 12th is telling you to rest. It's telling you to not exert energy externally. It's about inward life. Yoga, meditation, Pilates, Reiki, acupuncture, massage, all of those are what you want to incorporate around the new moon. If you can't afford any of it, sit outside and meditate and close your eyes and just breathe and try not to think about anything. That could be what you should do on the 7th. There's information coming through in the subconscious mind. We're all elevating. We have to be quiet enough and quiet our minds to get still enough to receive information, is what I'm actually hearing. On the 17th, Mars retrogrades in that Sagittarian sector in the 8th house for you. So there's not a lot of energy and stamina for intimacy right now, or sex. This is kind of lame. But it occurs, and it occurs not very often, but Mars retrogrades once every 2.5 years or so. 2 to 2.5. But he is stamina and energy, so where his retrograde falls is where he depletes energy from, and it's falling in your house of sex. It's falling in your house of intimacy, shared resources, other people's money. So for those of you who are relying on other people's money for getting paid, you might go through a little bit of a delay here. There's not a lot of energy behind this. There's not a lot of energy for sex behind this through June 30th, because Mars retrogrades back to 23 degrees of Scorpio. This retrograde starts in your 8th house of sex, but then goes back a sector deeper into the 7th house of relationships. So there's not a lot of energy, stamina, power in those sectors when he's retrograding. He needs you to rest, and I feel like that's a complete full body rest at that time. And it's also time for energy review in the relationship, in your marriage, energy review in your business partnerships, and how you're sharing your money with them between the 7th and the 8th. Now, for those of you who aren't in relationships, that actually works in a Mars retrograde, because it's not the best energy to put forward in implementing relationship at that time. Doesn't mean it won't happen. It's just not fully there to support you, so you have to put in extra work on your own. On the 18th, Pluto retrogrades in Capricorn in your 9th house. And this is when you don't really want to mess with foreign travel too much, but it's not a Mercury retrograde. But you could find that the intensity in other countries is a little too much for you. You could find that there's an intensity to your education at this time. On the 19th, the Sun enters Taurus. So happy birthday, happy solar return. This is your 1st house of self, body, ego. And I love when the Sun is in Taurus. You shine. You're fully rested, and because rest is required until then. But now when the Sun is here, it could be your time to shine. If you want to get active in the month of April, the week of the 19th through 26th is the time to do it, right before Mercury retrogrades. On the 22nd, we have our full moon at 2 degrees of Scorpio in the 7th house of relationships and business partnerships, the significant other, the marriage, the soulmate. There's an ending in this sector. Some of you, Taurians, are getting divorced, and you're seeing a release. Maybe you're addicted to your marriage. You're seeing a release of the marriage partner at this time. If you're not, and things are smooth sailing, there could be an ending in some form of business for you, and who you are connected to in your business and how you are working together. For those of you not in relationship and not with business partners, the full moon is the awareness in the 7th house, being aware of what you need in that sector. Seeing something that needs to be seen is the full moon, an awareness. Now the 28th, Mercury retrogrades at 23 degrees of Taurus, back to 14 degrees of Taurus in your 1st house of self through the 23rd of May. Not a great time to have that big talk with your boss. Not a great time to figure out your entire life plan and take action upon it. Not a great time to talk to your relationship, your lover, your significant other, your spouse about changes that need to be made in your life. I think you need to lay low and wait for Mercury to go direct, because when Mercury retrogrades in your sign, there's tremendous confusion and delay and not making too much sense. So I just don't want you to say anything that you'll regret, or worse, say something you don't even mean. Now, Venus, your ruling planet, makes a second shift on the 29th into Taurus. So, conjunct the Sun, conjunct Mercury retrograde, all in the 1st house of self. At least Venus is there to help you aesthetically look your best, because Venus does not play around. She is goddess Aphrodite, and when she enters the 1st house of body, that's where all the attraction is based for 30 to 40 days. And you'll find a lot of attractive suitors coming to you. For those of you looking for a relationship, when Venus is in the 1st house, magnificent energy. Watch your ascendant sign as well. If you know your time of birth, please watch your ascendant. It's very accurate for natal positionings. Oh my gosh, There's this hummingbird. Bright. She's bright green and she's so tiny. I can't turn my computer to show you, but oh my gosh. So let me see what your cards say for the month of April 2016. I've been shuffling through the whole reading for Taurus. I love that that little hummingbird came here. I think that you should look up what that spirit animal means for you, because I haven't seen a hummingbird in any of the other signs. And she's gone now. That was just such a quick visit. So let's see. Taurus. If you'd like to read with me as well, I'm at audreyallison.com, and you can select your reading there. Two of Cups, 7th house. This is what's up. Full moon in the 7th. Mars retrograding in the 7th. Your intimacy, the 8th house as well. Your relationship is the first card. I don't think I've pulled this in any of the other readings. 9 of Coins, the money tree. I love this for prosperity, health, well-being, growth, money, prosperity. Venus, your ruling planet. Oh, interesting, because Venus rules love and money. That's interesting. And she will be in your first house. King of Cups, water sign male, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Also self-fulfillment, finding answers within your own intuition. See how he is providing all of the water that he needs into that chalice, into his cup? He's not looking for other people's help right now. Wheel of Fortune. Taking a gamble, taking a risk. Fate, timing, divine timing, transformation and change. What comes up must come down. 4 of Cups. So for those of you feeling stuck, just give this some time. Allow the retrograde to pass. You're going to be doing some inner work with the 12th house activated, and then when planets retrograde, it's basically like the subconscious mind takes over, and we're just like walking around in our minds. So allow this internal review with all of these planets that are retrograde, between Saturn, Pluto, Mars, Mercury. It's a lot. Turn to your relationship. Your relationship can give you quiet strength and quiet security. Don't try to make too many changes in this relationship while it's retrograde, but know that things are blooming for you. There's an upswing ahead. If you're feeling stuck in this, perhaps in your marriage, you're contemplating maybe a divorce around the full moon, because the full moon in the 7th is an ending. Or an awareness. Now, listen to that. You can be aware of something and not take action upon it. You can be gathering internal information and then acting upon it in late May or early June. I hope this was helpful, Taurus. I love this card, and I love this card for earnings and the career, which isn't really heightened here at all this month. I do feel like they're saying that things are changing, or things are blooming and changing, and that you might be in a different directional place after the end of the retrograde, or even by the end of the month. But for those of you looking for relationships and you're not in one, this is what I like to see. And it's the first card. So there is an attraction coming to you. And even if it takes the end of the month for Venus to be in your first house, so what? Life is long. Life is tediously long. Okay, I hope you have a beautiful April, and I'm wishing you a sweet month. I'll see you next month in May. And remember, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.